Welcome everyone to this Samhain pick-a-card reading. I'm Renee, the visionary here at the Phoenix Uprising. Samhain marks the time when the veil between worlds is at its thinnest. A perfect moment for insight, guidance, and connecting with the unseen. We have 3 cards here: the Black Bat, the Witch Hat, and the Black Cat. Take a moment to look at each image and notice which one draws you in. Trust your instincts. Your card will call to you in its own unique way. Once you've chosen, we'll begin. All right, Collective One, you chose the Black Bat. In the deep quiet of autumn's night, the black bat takes flight. Bats are fascinating to me. They navigate in total darkness by sending out their own sound and trusting what comes back to them. I feel like spiritually that's huge. You don't have to see the whole path in order to move forward. You've been given this inner sonar or intuition, spiritual gifts to guide you when things are unclear around you. Now, bats have this dual symbolism depending on where you are in the world. In some cultures, they're a good omen. They're tied to longevity and happiness, even prosperity. In others, they've been linked to darkness and death and fear. This dualistic energy could have you standing between 2 possible interpretations of your current situation: fear of the unknown and a quiet confidence that a rebirth is underway and emerging. You're deciding which version of the story you want to claim. Flying blind. Notice that this instrument panel has gone dark and there is a storm ahead. This is about moving through something unclear. Maybe you're even feeling like you've been flying blind. There's this sense that you're relying on instinct, but you might be second guessing it because the feedback isn't immediate, right? It's like walking through a dark tunnel and wondering if you're still heading in the right direction. The real hurdle is not the darkness itself, but the doubt that creeps in when our progress is not openly apparent to us. Trust that your spiritual navigation system works just as it should, even if others can't see what you see. And it's important to bear in mind that setbacks can later be revealed as a blessing in disguise. What is within your reach? This image is actually beautiful. These hands are stretching toward a light source that's just out of frame. And I'm hearing the phrase "almost there." The fact that we don't see the light itself, that's your higher self telling you the reward is already in motion, but you're not meant to see the full picture. This ties directly back to that bat energy, trusting the unseen. You've already reached a point where something is available to you energetically. You just have to take those last few steps without giving up. Momentum builds when you honor the small yes that's in front of you. What is needed now is faith in action, right? You may not get the big reveal just yet, so keep your steps small and steady while you protect your energy. What is one action that you can take in the next 24 hours that will move you toward your goal? I feel like Spirit is asking you to wake up and smell the coffee. This feels like a nudge. There's something you've been avoiding or maybe underestimating. This could be you underestimating yourself, your abilities. It's time to look at that clearly. We have no longer lost. That's the confirmation you're finding your direction again. Maybe you've been in limbo. Maybe you've been waiting for clarity, and here it is, even if it's coming in small everyday moments. First comes the wake-up moment, the realization that you cannot ignore. Then comes direction, a calmer sense of where to go next. Watch for everyday confirmations, a conversation, a headline, a lyric to a song. Synchronicities will be all around you during this time. The message is no longer subtle, and I feel like you already have an inner knowing of what you're supposed to be doing next. So let's talk about your spirit allies that are showing up in this energy. The bat is the master of navigating the darkness. It reminds you to listen for what cannot be seen and to move with agility rather than force. Also, we cannot go without mentioning the well-established connection between some species of bats and vampirism. The second ally that's making an appearance here is the bat bug. That is a close relative of the bed bug. Ironically, they primarily live off the blood of bats. This could be a warning that someone has been feeding off of your energy, maybe without you realizing it. Parasitic in nature, the bat bug may warn against those who seek to drain you of your time and resources and energy. I feel like there's a need to protect your energy, especially when you're in times of transformation, because that's when you're the most magnetic. And sometimes that magnetism draws in people who take without giving. I feel like you need to give some thought about how you feel after interactions with others. If your energy drops every time you see this person, that is noteworthy, friend. I'm seeing the moon, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Nine of Wands. Well, the moon is perfect for this reading. It's that same theme of moving through mystery, trusting your intuition. You could be having significant dreams. There are hidden truths with the moon energy that are yet to be revealed. The Ace of Pentacles says that there's a new opportunity here, especially in the material world. It could be a job lead, a home shift, a health routine that you're implementing, a new source of income or stability. This confirms that a practical, fresh start is emerging with this earth energy. It is the seed of something that is tangible, right? The Nine of Wands is a resilience card. I feel like you've been through a lot, but you're still standing. You're tired, but you're also close. Protect what you are building and pace yourself. You're closer than you think to a breakthrough. You need to keep your boundaries strong and your eyes on that light that you're reaching for. I'm seeing the red bat-faced flower, the black bat flower, and rosemary. The red bat-faced flower attracts pollinators. It has very contrasting colors. You're drawing in what helps you grow. Now, the black bat flower, on the other hand, wards off certain insects. It has a very pungent and rotten smell. It's used medicinally for things like high blood pressure and digestion. One of these attracts and one repels. I feel like Spirit is saying it's okay to be selective. Let in what nourishes you and block what drains you. Consider making your own protection ward symbols and placing those around your home to stave off those who seek to drain you of your resources, your time, and your energy. Rosemary adds purification and memory and protection. That's perfect for cleansing your energy and keeping your path clear. You could also tie a sprig of rosemary to the entry point to your house, or sprinkle dried rosemary in front of your threshold. You could also consider planting it near your gate or an entryway. I'm seeing the bloodstone crystal. Bloodstone is about courage and vitality, endurance, and cleansing. Keep it near when you're setting boundaries, making financial decisions, or doing energy protection work. This stone helps you take action when you're tired, and it's known for helping people stand their ground when challenges keep coming. I'm seeing wallet in a vice. Financially, the wallet in a vice suggests pressure, right? Maybe you've been feeling that your finances have been squeezed or restricted. Remember that we have the Ace of Pentacles earlier in your reading. This pressure may actually be forcing you to get creative with your resources, which will open the door to something more sustainable. I feel like 222 is a number that you could be seeing right now. That's all about balance and harmony and partnerships. It's a sign that you're aligning with the right people and situations, even if it doesn't feel perfect yet. Keep your choices gentle and consistent. I feel like a time frame for some forward movement for you is tied to the next new moon. That suggests that progress will start showing up in noticeable ways within the next lunar cycle. Watch how your mood and your momentum shifts around the next new moon. I feel like for you, this is a time for trusting the unseen, keeping your energy clear, and knowing you're closer than you imagine to success. You're already equipped for this journey. Now it's just about taking the next step. You've been navigating through a time of uncertainty, but you do have the tools, the instincts, and the resilience to make it through. The signs, the synchronicities, and even the challenges are pointing you towards stability and a fresh start. There will be steady, incremental wins here. Keep your eyes open for repeated numbers and unexpected symbols. I feel like those will be guiding you toward your next breakthrough. The bat is guided by projecting its own voice and waiting for what comes back in return. I feel like you need to be aware of what you're putting out into the world, because that too will come back to you. I like to leave you guys with a food for thought. Quote. Today's quote is, "Sometimes you don't need to see the whole path. You just need to trust your wings." Unknown. So Collective One, that's your reading. I hope this resonated for you. If you feel yourself drawn to more than one image, there may be more messages for you there, and I encourage you to check that reading out as well. Whether you honor this season as Samhain, Halloween, or All Saints' Day, may it be a time of blessing, safety, and renewal for you. See you next time. All right, Collective 2. You chose the witch hat. When this witch hat came up for your collective, the very first thing that stirred in my mind was history, not the cartoonish pointy hat witch from pop culture, but the real women who wore these hats. Picture a bustling marketplace in the 16th century. Back in medieval and early modern Europe, there was a group of women called alewives. They brewed and sold beer, and in busy marketplaces, they wore tall, pointy black hats so people could spot them easily over the crowd. It was practical, not magical, at least not in the way that people think of magic today. With the Reformation, the brewing industry shifted into the hands of wealthy men. These women were pushed out, and worse, their image was smeared. The pointed hat became a symbol of satirical drawings, meant to portray them as untrustworthy and even dangerous. Over time, especially in an era of witch trials, that symbolism shifted from market merchant to dark sorceress, right? The pointed hat became a caricature, then a warning label, and eventually a witchy stereotype. The deeper story is about visibility, craft, and the cost of being a capable woman in public. I feel like for your reading, this hat carries layers of visibility, independence, and resourcefulness, but also the shadow of being misunderstood and misrepresented. I'm seeing the illusions card. This card shows a mirage in the desert that's shimmering, almost too good to be true, that draws you forward but might vanish as you approach. Right now, there may be something in your path that isn't what it appears to be. whether it's an opportunity, a person, or even your own expectations. I feel like there's a risk of chasing something that's not grounded in truth. This connects back to the witch's hat history, the way appearances can be warped by others, and how that warping can cloud reality. You may be feeling the sting of being misunderstood, underestimated, or even mislabeled, right? The challenge is about discerning fact from illusion, truth from projection. Do not chase the mirage for validation. Choose what is true over what only looks good. What is within your reach? Here we see hands holding a lush bunch of deep burgundy grapes. Grapes are a symbol of abundance and sweetness and the rewards of hard work. This suggests that real opportunities, the ones that will actually sustain you, are already close. It may require you slowing down, taking your time to pick only the ripest fruit, but the abundance is already there. The harvest will come in due time so that your energy goes to what actually feeds you. Where the mirage is deceptive, this image is tangible. You can hold it, taste it, savor it. This is about choosing quality over quantity and depth over a flash in the pan, right? I'm hearing smells like team spirit. Of course, that's a bit of playful wordplay, and perhaps spirit is nodding to the Nirvana song, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Perhaps that song is significant to you in some way. Playful, yes, but potent. Your path forward involves community and collaboration and aligned allies. I feel like part of your abundance is linked to you being social. This is the right group, the right mentor or collaborator. Collaboration multiplies results. Look for rooms where your craft is respected and your voice is welcomed. Spirit is nudging you to put yourself out there. Like the alewives' history, who worked in public spaces among their community, your sign suggests that part of your abundance comes from not doing it all alone. Your spirit animal allies, well, we have the black widow and the black witch moth. First, the black widow in the physical world, she's small but formidable and potent, with a bite that demands respect, right? Spiritually, she represents feminine power, patience, and the ability to weave your own reality. But she also warns of toxic entanglements, relationships, or situations where the energy exchanged is imbalanced, where you may do all the weaving and someone else does all the taking, right? The black witch moth, in many cultures, this moth is seen as an omen, sometimes of change, sometimes of endings, and sometimes as a messenger from the spirit world. Its dark wings are like a cloak for transformation, reminding you that even in shadow, beauty exists. This ally invites you to let an old identity molt off so your next form has room to unfold. Together, these animal allies speak to your ability to navigate the deep, shadowy spaces within and be aware of what's healthy to keep in your life. Take note what relationships feel tight or sticky or restrictive versus spacious and reciprocal, and then you need to act accordingly. Well, that brings us to the tarot, and man, what a trio. I'm seeing the Queen of Swords, the Empress, and the Magician. The Queen of Swords is perceptive and discerning. She cuts through illusions, okay? She's the one who can see through a mirage and spot the truth. She is your clear voice and a firm yes or no. She mirrors the illusion card directly. See what is, not what is advertised, right? The Empress is all about creation and sensuality and sustainable abundance. She harmonizes with the grape's energy and reminds you that your innate wisdom is waiting to be utilized. The Magician is all about resourcefulness and manifesting using the tools that you already have. Just like the alewives, you're resourceful and capable of creating magic from raw ingredients that life gives you. Together, these cards are telling you that you have both the discernment to spot illusions and the creativity to build something real and abundant. I'm seeing the witch hat mushroom. It's dark, it's pointed, and it's a little mysterious. These are vibrant in the beginning of their life cycle and they darken over time. It's been mistaken for similar looking hallucinogenic varieties, which also mirrors the illusions card and the cyclical nature of life. What cycles are you repeating? This energy asks you to know and honor your own ideal growing conditions as well. I'm seeing hops. Well, that's used in brewing beer. This connects directly to the alewives story. Spiritually, hops are associated with relaxation, dreams, and spiritual vision. They may also be pointing to the idea of crafting something, literally brewing up your own reality. Consider teas, baths, or even a bedtime sachet filled with hops to encourage restorative sleep and clear intuition. I would just tuck that right up under my pillow at night, right? I'm seeing the labradorite stone. Labradorite is the stone of transformation and spiritual awakening. It's a crystal that works like a shield, protecting your energy while heightening your intuition. It's like an auric raincoat, if you will. It heightens intuition while shielding you from projection and envy. Work with labradorite when entering public spaces or when entering collaborations with others. This stone fits perfectly with the theme of illusions and discernment. Labradorite helps you see through the bullshit and shows you the truth behind appearances. I'm seeing lost money lying on the ground. Of course, this speaks to potential financial leaks or perhaps missed opportunities. This could be a warning to watch your spending, to double check your resources, or recover something that you've overlooked. I would cancel what you don't use and reclaim those funds or credits or unpaid invoices. Practical stewardship supports your Empress level growth. In the bigger story, it's another nudge to be mindful of illusions. Not every investment of your time or money is worth it. You could be seeing the number 333 in the coming weeks, which confirms that your creativity and divine support will be heightened just before an explosion of growth. Express yourself and make use of the inspiration that comes from being surrounded by like-minded individuals. I feel like a time frame for forward movement is next spring. So you have some time to do the clearing, the discerning, and the intentional creation that this energy is calling for. By spring, the seeds that you're planting now, whether literal or symbolic, whether good or bad, will be blooming. What you prune away in this season will show with fuller bloom and beauty as the seasons turn, right? I feel like you're stepping into your personal power, even if the world around you hasn't caught up yet. The illusions will fade. Your creative and intuitive gifts are coming forward, and the resources you need will align in perfect timing. Be seen without being defined by others' projections. Practice your craft with pride and keep your narrative in your own hands. There is a call to lean on your powerful intuition when receiving any offers. If not, you may be expected to maintain an image that you feel pressured to present or feel burdened by an old story that others still project onto you. Trust that what you've been cultivating is about to bloom and own your space unapologetically. I like to leave you with a food for thought quote. A witch ought never be frightened in the darkest forest, because she should be sure in her soul that the most terrifying thing in the forest was her. Terry Pratchett. So, Collective 2, that is your reading. I hope that this resonated for you. If you feel yourself drawn to more than one image, there may be more messages for you there, and I encourage you to check that reading out as well. Whether you honor this season as Samhain, Halloween, or All Saints' Day, may it be a time of blessings, abundance, safety, and renewal for you. See you next time. All right, Collective 3, you chose the black cat. When we think of the black cat, most of us picture that sleek, shadowy figure slipping quietly through the night. It's mysterious and graceful, and depending on who you ask, either a blessing or a curse. In ancient Egypt, black cats were sacred to the goddess Bastet, the fierce yet nurturing protector of home, fertility, and joy. These cats were thought to see beyond the veil, walking between the physical and spiritual realms. Killing one was considered a grave offense, often punishable by death. Fast forward to the Middle Ages and the story changes. Black cats were caught in the crosshairs of superstition. They were tied to witches and demons and bad luck. In some parts of Europe, they were believed to be witches' familiars. Their magical helpers or guardians, or even shape-shifted witches themselves. That reputation still lingers in pop culture, even though in many traditions, a black cat crossing your path is considered a sign of good fortune and protection. For this reading, the black cat feels like a guide, not loud or obvious, but quietly pointing you toward what you need to notice, even if it's hidden in the shadows. I'm seeing a woman leaning on top of a TV that just has static. There's no program, no clarity. It's a visual metaphor for confusion, right? The mixed signals, noisy channels, and low quality input could be a direct reflection of a bad connection with spirit, with another person, or with your higher self. There is a distraction, and that is the point, right? Your challenge is to tune your dial to a clearer frequency. Mute the sources that agitate, confuse, or hook your nervous system. Make room for a signal to find you. The message here is about discernment. Not every channel is worth your attention. And sometimes the noise is there to keep you distracted from what truly matters. This is the challenge right now. You may feel like you're searching for a clear picture, but only getting static. Maybe communication with someone is muddled, or information you've been receiving is half-truths. The black cat in this reading suggests that you already sense what is real, even if you can't see it yet. What is within your reach? Well, here we see a hand poised as if snapping its fingers. A small flame is bursting from that exact point, right? This is the moment of illumination, the instant clarity you've been craving. It says that understanding, insight, and forward motion are not far away. You're closer to lighting the spark than you realize. Clarity comes as a small moment, not as a massive announcement. You have to stay present for that quiet flicker that tells you what to do next. The cat's presence makes this feel like an inner knowing rather than someone handing you the answer. This breakthrough will likely come from your own intuition, an unexpected realization. I'm hearing tea people. Well, it's not hard to think of spilling the tea, the sharing of secrets, right? Or hidden truths. Yes, this can be gossip, but more deeply, it is information flowing. Something said in passing in a DM or an overheard comment could actually carry the key that you need for some of you. Particularly true for information that comes to light through overhearing something which was not meant for your ears. The observant cat energy warns you to approach this carefully, however, and use your discernment. Verify before you act and notice whether the messenger benefits from the drama that may ensue, right? Sometimes people mix truth with their own agendas, but there is something useful in what's revealed through conversation. Let's talk about your spirit allies. Well, the black cat itself is, of course, our central guide here. Mysterious, observant, independent, but also deeply protective. Spiritually, cats often show up when you need to sharpen your instincts, to guard your energy, and trust subtle signs. The black cat is your primary ally. It is keenly observant, protective, sovereign. It moves softly and acts only when it's time. You need to guard your energy like a treasure. I'm also seeing the crab. Now, the crab brings another layer. They walk sideways, taking indirect routes to get to where they're going, right? This suggests that your path to clarity may not be straightforward. The crab also carries its home on its back, hinting at self reliance and protecting your inner world or your soft parts, right? While you take the route that actually works for you. Okay, for tarot, I see the world, the Eight of Cups, and the Hanged Man. The world, of course, speaks about completion, fulfillment, and something coming full circle. It promises that the static will clear and the bigger picture will be revealed. The Eight of Cups is about walking away from what no longer serves you, even if it's comfortable or familiar. Give yourself permission to slip away from what is familiar but no longer fulfilling. It's the moment that you decide you're done with half truths and stagnant situations. The Hanged Man is the pause. It's the quiet waiting for a shift in perspective. It ties beautifully to the cat's patience, reminding you not to rush forward blindly, but to allow your instincts to mature before acting. Like that silent cat that watches the world below from the tall tree branch. Make sure to pause long enough to see the situation from a higher perch before you move. I'm seeing catnip and cattail plants. Catnip is beloved by felines. It's used to promote relaxation, attract joy, and even invite love. It suggests giving yourself opportunities to rest and play in between serious matters. Perhaps you could make yourself a nice cup of catnip tea and allow your nervous system to settle so your intuition can speak up again. Cattail plants thrive in marshy, in-between spaces, symbiotic of adaptability and finding stability even in emotional mud, right? It teaches resilience and the art of building stability even when life feels unstable and the waters are unclear. Also, it's noteworthy that every part of this plant is useful and has value. Even times where there seems to be no forward movement in our lives, that also has value, even though we may not know the reason for it in the present moment. I'm seeing moonstone. Moonstone enhances intuition, emotional balance, and the connection to the divine feminine. It's the stone of cycles, helping you see the ebb and flow of your own emotional landscape. It talks about trusting your own inner guidance, Work with moonstone when you're journaling or setting intentions around the moon phases. I'm also seeing some of you place your moonstone outside during the new moon and also in the light of the full moon. I'm seeing someone holding a phone with an open money app. It's unclear whether it's incoming or outgoing, and I feel like it's ambiguous on purpose. This uncertainty ties directly to the static card from earlier. Finances may feel unclear or up in the air right now. I feel like the cat's message here is watch closely, double check the details, and don't let small leaks in your resources go unnoticed. Be aware of small transactions and fees and auto renewals, right? A tiny habit shift could free up more than you expect. I'm seeing the number 414. 414 blends the stability of the 4 with the new beginnings of 1, and they're twice framed by grounded energy. 414 blends solid foundations with a new beginning in the middle. Spirit is telling you that the actions you take now will echo long into the future, so make sure that you're building with longevity in mind. A time frame for some forward movement. I feel like you can expect things to come into focus by the next full moon. The cat encourages patience and keen observation until then. The moment to act will present itself clearly. Use the energy of the new moon to set your intentions, the waxing phase of the moon to gather information, and the full moon's illumination to decide what needs to be released. This black cat reading tells a story of trusting your senses, moving through static, and not letting others' noise drown out your inner truth. The path ahead may twist and turn, but the destination, clarity, completion, and self mastery is well worth it. You're seeing the truth of a situation more clearly now, and you're ready to make choices that align with your highest path. The connections, messages, and intuitive hits you've been receiving are spot on. Step into this next phase with confidence. Your inner guidance is sharper than ever, and you're exactly where you're meant to be. I like to leave you guys with a food for thought quote. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply observe. Unknown. So, Collective 3, that is your reading. I hope this resonated for you. If you feel yourself drawn to more than one image, there may be more messages for you there, and I encourage you to check that reading out as well. Whether you honor this season as Samhain, Halloween, or All Saints' Day, may it be a time of blessings, safety, stepping into your own power and abundance. Only up from here, and together we rise.